Yeah.
Okay.
But the more exciting ones are the experimental rule changes that will be trialled in the reserve grade games, whenever and wherever they might be played on what calendar they've been put on.
Yeah, Ian Lenigan's Select 11 versus whoever. Really,
well, they've all got different amounts of teams, games played at different times. It's very confusing.
Ooh.
But, at least there's some...
But there'll be some crazy new rules involved.
For some players and for some teams who can afford to do it or are willing to stump up the money. And you'll get to see these new rules there. So a lot of these are basically the first two are NRL rules, aren't they? Really, time off at scrums. If a player is if a team is properly formed and ready to contest a scrum, the referee will call time off.
I can't remember the last time in rugby league I saw a properly formed scrum. But all right, go on.
Players forming the scrum must remain in the positions they were when the clock is stopped, and shall remain in position. And when the other team form their scrum, time will be called back on. So basically, you already see that down under now, don't you?
Yeah. So even if you've got your half back in there,
that's where you go to stay.
Yep.
40-20 tap restarts, again something that's coming down under. When a kick in general play and from inside a team's 40 metre zone finds touch, other than on the full, in the opposition's 20 metre zone, the attacking player shall restart the play with a tap kick as opposed to a scrum 20 metres in from touch. Opposite where the ball crossed the touchline, but no closer than 10 metres from the goal line, the referee shall ensure a controlled restart of play. So basically, you don't set a scrum, but you do set the defensive line.
I'm not sure how I feel about this one. But the whole point of the scrum really in rugby league is to bring a certain number of players into one place on the pitch, spread the backs out and allow for attractive attacking play. This possibly negates that for me. Well, that's... You're allowed to set your line, have your tap, and then go.
That's it. This rule and the next rule, which I've not seen before and I like, are at odds with each other. But the NRL have taken our free play rule on, haven't they?
Yes.
So we're kind of starting to see a closer in of the rules,
coming together,
which I think was hinted at in the RLIF sort of conversations midway through last year. So that's good at the very least. That we're seeing a consistency approach. But this one I like, and I hope it happens. Attacking teams adding a player to the back line at a scrum. Prior to a scrum being formed, the attacking team shall have the option to have an additional player outside the scrum, provided that there shall be a maximum of 8 players outside the scrum in the attacking line.
That's a good rule. I like that. But why then?
So you're basically leaving 5 men in the scrum, your guy taking the ball out, you can have an extra man to run at one shot on the defending side. I like it.
Which makes a scrum potentially more beneficial, which puts a higher reward on, or a higher premium on things like knock-ons and stuff. So, improves handling or encourages teams to handle the ball better, makes them think about, where they're putting themselves. But it's at odds with this, maybe it's to kind of counteract this 40-20 tap restart thing, to put an element of attacking play.
Maybe they'll pick one or the other.
Yeah, possibly.
Love it though. I love that extra attacking player at the scrum. I like.
If we're talking about rule changes and things that have been brought in or enforced more differently, though, the NRL has sent down its edict on the play the ball.
So we'll see that tons of penalties for the first 4 weeks, and then same as you are by grand final.
I don't know. I hope they enforce it. They bitch about it enough. When you watch Aussie Rugby League on Premier Sport, it's all the bloody commentators. That's all you can hear the commentators complaining about. Why are we bothering with play the ball? Why are we bothering with play the ball? So it's obviously been on the agenda down there for a while. So it's in the rules. You should play the ball with your foot.
Yeah, I just don't believe that the speed of the game now it will get enforced. But that's those rule changes. Let us know what you think about those, particularly the experimental rules. That would be good to hear your views, so we can share those on next week's show.
Yes.
We've got an and finally.
Yes, okay.
And we've got to it.
Sydney Roosters captain Mitchell Pearce's NRL career has been thrown into doubt after controversial footage emerged of him in Australia. Pearce was caught on camera simulating a lewd act with a dog, amongst other things, during the celebration for last Tuesday's Australia Day. The 26-year-old, who is now receiving treatment in an overseas rehabilitation facility for alcohol problems, is expected to be stripped of the Roosters captaincy, fined $50,000 Australian dollars, so about 20 quid, and hit with a lengthy suspension. Roosters coach Trent Robinson confirmed the decision to stand down Pearce on their own in-house TV channel, saying that the behaviour was unacceptable. We understand that. At the Roosters, we can't accept that, and we won't. Over the next couple of days, we will come to a conclusion with the NRL. So Pearce himself has admitted he has alcohol problems, saying, "I'm embarrassed and take full responsibility for my actions. I acknowledge that I have a problem with alcohol, and it's something I need to address. It's not an excuse. Well, finally, a realisation that I finally need help. Together with the club, I'm working on a solution for me to address the issue, which will come out in the next couple of days. I just want to thank everyone for turning up, and I apologise again. So, the NRL's advisor on women's issues, Catherine Lumby, says Mitchell Pearce's NRL career should be over after his off-field indiscretions. Lumby, who has worked with the NRL for over a decade, says that the NRL has to send out a strong message on the issue and bring the curtain down on his career in Australia's top flight. She said, I think you should not be able to get away with this. He's a high-profile athlete. It just sends the wrong message, and the NRL has to continue to show leadership on this issue. Wow.
Which issue do you think she's talking about, then? Not the pretending to shag a dog, is it? It's the bit at the start of the video. Should we take everyone through the video? Everyone's seen it now.
I think most people have seen it, haven't they?
Have you seen the full unedited?
Where they're asking him his name, and he's like, I'm Sam Mower and I'm this and I'm that, and yeah.
So basically, the video sort of starts with Mitchell Pearce trying to cop off
with a girl,
very jokingly. I would add. I don't think he's serious about it. Her jokey, I believe, retort is, "No thanks, I'm a lesbian."
Yeah,
and he pretty much went and walked off after that. They had the little joke about one of the players being gay as well, so they should get up. So the lesbian should get off with the gay guy, ha ha ha, which obviously was just absolute nonsense. Then he
pissed up stupid nonsense.
Yeah, and this was what the whole thing was. That's what the story should have been called: pissed up stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
Then there's a remark about one of the players being an Aboriginal. Yeah. No, sorry, first the dog fucking happens. Yeah. He says, don't do that to my dog. He picks the dog up again, pretends to do it again, and then doesn't do it again. Yeah. Then they talk about...
Let's be fair, the dog isn't hurt.
No.
At any point.
So then they pick up that he's pissed on the couch, they think, or something. Then he talks about one of the other players, who's his mate, being Aboriginal.
Yeah.
That's all they say. They don't go into any detail about no pros or cons of that.
They don't use any derogatory terms.
No,
as far as I can recall.
Then they get asked to leave, and it does take a while. But this video is not long in length.
Yeah.
And
when do you achieve anything quickly when you're pissed?
And they basically all start to leave. And then as they're leaving, the girls say, "No, not you," to one of the players. Yeah. Grab him because one of them fancies him and wants something off him.
Yeah.
And the rest leave, and the video ends.
Yeah.
So in this, none of those people in that room come out of this shining a light on them. Obviously, Mitchell Pearce looks the worst because it was all focused on him and he did the most stupid stuff.
And he's a Origin rep player.
Yeah.
The captain of Sydney Roosters in a world where Sydney Rugby League is widely reported as the most important sport, particularly on Channel 9 and all that lot. This is going to create a lot of column inches.
There is some suggestion that there was that the players were handing out cocaine to these people that took them back to their house. No, and basically it is just stupid, pissed up behaviour. I don't think anyone was really offended apart from the piss on the couch. I think that was the line that was crossed, that the woman wanted him out of the house. I don't think any of the other things were that. The dog thing was completely stupid, but it wasn't exactly Joel Monaghan.
No.
The trying to kiss the girl thing was completely stupid, but it wasn't exactly Blake Ferguson.
No.
It wasn't exactly... I mean, Mitchell Pearce has been in the news before for something that he was fined over, and again, he wasn't charged by the police over anything to do with that, and all he did was sort of stare a bit at a girl a bit too much, didn't he?
And to be fair, Mitchell Pearce got goggly eyes at the best.
So basically, I think... Whilst I think he is ridiculous and needs to learn lessons from this, I don't think there's any chance he's not going to play for the Roosters again.
No.
He will play for the Roosters in 2016.
Yeah, I agree.
Without a doubt. He won't be the captain, but he's shown no qualities of being a leader.
Yeah.
That video proves that he's not a leader.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the only other thing it proves is a stupid fucking dickhead. And there's a couple of hundred of them in the NRL, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. Listen, he is a professional athlete of some repute, and yes, he, as a consequence of his achievement and attainment and financial recompense in this sport, should be held to a higher standard, and is being, right? My question, and it's not really for me to answer, is whether or not this is excessive. Like you said, I agree that he'll play again in the NRL, and I agree that he'll play. His rep career might be over for a couple of years, perhaps, but I think he'll play for the Sydney Roosters again this season. I don't think he'll captain them.
He'll play as many Origin games this year as Valentino Holmes and his taxi driver.
Yes, Valentino Holmes is a different story, but There's a couple of things around this that have come out, and as much as, you know, and do you know what, Steve Matchcord wrote a great piece about it for, I believe it was for a New Zealand newspaper, but I think it got picked up by the Sydney Morning Herald.
No, you're right, it's in the Sydney Morning Herald.
Right, well, it was the one, I saw it in a Kiwi newspaper. Okay. And it was about kind of the reaction by people who like rugby and then the rest of people, and the comparisons between how people who are involved in rugby look at it as, isn't he a dick? What a stupid lad. And then this kind of collective desire to suddenly almost faux wring your hands at what a terrible example Mitchell Pearce is from the rest of the media because it makes a good story. I don't think there's a human... I may not include some ladies in this, but I don't think there's a human male alive who can look himself in the mirror and say at 26, at some point in that 365-day period when you were 26, I didn't do something fucking ridiculous. We all make mistakes, and to err is human, and he will be held to a higher standard because he's in the public eye. But it's just pissed up nonsense. And there's an element of this, I don't know how legitimate they were, but alongside this were the screenshots of people's text messages going around about, we've got Mitchell Pearce in the house, we're going to film it and sell it, and how much of it was him being set up?
I think all of that, the messages happened after.
Doesn't excuse what he did, he was stupid.
I think the film was already, I think the video was already done before the text messages.
Yeah, listen, people will drink drive this year, get convicted of it, and not lose their jobs. Should Mitchell Pearce therefore, do you know what I mean? Should he be losing his job? Should he never be allowed to do what he does for a living again? Because he didn't break any laws.
No.
And as much as he may have offended your moral compass, that's the important thing. And he is actively seeking help to better himself. There will be people that commit crimes and get convicted of actual crimes who won't lose their employment as a result.
I just think...
So where do you stand on it? Because it's because he's in the public eye.
I just think he deserves all the criticism he's getting. He deserves all the punishment he will get, because I don't think that punishment will go as far as ending his career. Yeah. I think there's people who've done far worse who are still playing their trade in this sport, be it in this country or in Australia.
Yeah, and with fans of that team backing it.
Yeah.
So it's all relative, isn't it?
There you go, yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, lots of people got in touch with us over this, Mark, didn't they?
Yeah. Lee Culture said, show's practically written itself for you guys, so many jokes.
Yeah.
You wanted to make your Keith Lard joke?
Well, yeah, we kind of fell off it a bit and got a bit sensible about it, didn't it? But yeah, to be fair, it wasn't me that made the Keith Lard joke. It was someone else on... I think someone might have tweeted us, or I assume on my personal Twitter, like, Keith Lard's got... Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, because they're playing against St Helens.
Yeah.
There's a lot around that, with the Saints mascot boots and stuff. I would
love to have been the guy in charge of bugging the phone call between Joel and Michael Monaghan that night. That would have been a great phone call to listen to.
Rich Wilkinson got in touch on Facebook. He said, I take it you guys have seen the news. Catalan might have the first choice New South Wales halfback next season. Note to self, don't fuck a dog in public. Wally Frogmore got in touch. Chucks fans will be saying it's all a media beat up. Yeah,
which is what we seem to have done as well.
I don't think it's a media beat up. I don't think that. I think he did those things. He deserves to be embarrassed for them.
The Western world and the Western media loves this sort of thing.
You rock up at someone's house, pretend to fuck the dog and piss on the couch. You deserve to be embarrassed by that person.
Absolutely.
If public means in your local community for people like us potentially, or publicly means your circle of friends or whatever, or publicly means the whole country because you're a national icon or a national person, of interest, say, then that's how it works. James Whetstone at Jim Man Bear Pig, this was a good one. He said, it seems to be the perfect storm of drink, rape, asterisk, racism, asterisk, bestiality, and a Mitch.
Yeah, there you go. It should be pointed out that he didn't rape or say anything racist, as far as I'm understand the situation.
No, I think
the discussion is that how forceful was he with this lass?
Yeah,
where's the borderline there?
I don't condone his sort of
She seemed like she was more than capable of fucking him off, and he did.
He walked away not long after the... Yeah. And also, I don't believe she was a lesbian, to be perfectly honest. Why was she practically manhandling the fifth player to leave the room to make him stay to get the phone number?
Well, yeah, true. That's it, yeah. You never know.
Or at least one of the two girls that they said were lesbians wasn't lesbians, because one of the two definitely grabbed hold of one of the players to get his phone number.
Yes.
But yeah,
sexuality is a bell curve, Mark.
But definitely there was an element of untoward behaviour towards that woman, but I think that ended pretty quickly when she closed it down. He closed it down too. He was not. Basically, if he hadn't done, he wouldn't have tried to fuck a dog, would he?
Yeah, exactly. If he did get his head away with something, he wouldn't have looked at the